Knowledge by Philip Memer. My philosopher friend is explaining again that the bottle of well-chilled beer in my hand might not be a bottle of beer, that the trickle of bottle sweat cooling in my palm might not be wet, might not be cool, that in fact it's impossible to ever know if I'm holding a bottle at all. I try to follow his logic, flipping the states that are almost certainly hissing over the bed of coals. Coals, I swear, were black at first, then grey, then red. Coals we could spread out and walk on. And why not, I ask, since we'll never be sure if our feet burn, if our souls blister and peel, if our faithlessness is any better or worse a tool than the firewalkers can do extreme. Exactly, he smiles, behind the fence. The moon rises, or seems to. Have another. Whatever else is true, the coals feel hotter than ever as the darkness begins to do what darkness does. Another what, I ask? The author's purpose in writing this poem is to get readers to see the world more realistically and to understand what everything really is and means. To prove this, he uses several real-life examples. The first being the bottle of beer and questioning what the beer really is. Beer is defined as an alcoholic drink made from yeast-fermented malt, flavored with hops. The narrator's friend then goes on to explain that the beer in my hand might not be a bottle of beer. Really, anyone could take on that definition, and not only that, but the word beer is also relative to the English language. His next example is the, quote, bed of coals that he figuratively lines up on the ground for a firewalker to walk across. Here he explains that because you can't see pain, you can't know that it exists. This is similar to the imagery of the coals whose color went from black at first, then gray, then red. Naturally concluding that with each change in color, the coals become hotter and hotter, but he can't really know that. The final example is the author's use of the moon illusion. He says that, quote, the moon rises or seems to prove that this way of thinking is responsible for the changes in society, because years ago people believed that the sun and moon alternated, that in the day the sun would come up, and that at night the moon would take its place. I chose this poem because of all the poems I've ever read, this is the one poem that has actually influenced my thinking and views on the world. Once again, this is Philip Memer's Knowledge. I'm Ron Sufi. Thank you.